Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about the disaster season that is the final season of The Boys. Why is this so bad? Is it just because this entire season has been a backdoor spin-off pilot of the Vault Rising show, or is it a symptom of a larger problem in The Boys universe? I have to say, this is interesting because if we're trying to compare other superhero shows on their final season on how it's worked, or I think a better example is the final season of Arrow and the season of The Flash that led into Crisis, which I believe I'm trying to remember was the first half of season 6, right? Where Arrow and The Flash, their first half of the final season of Arrow and the first half of season 6 for each setting up the lead into Crisis, right? With Barry Allen supposedly dying in the Crisis and Oliver being sent on missions by the Monitor where he's also supposed to die in Crisis, and Barry and Oliver not interacting at all because of the Monitor until Crisis begins, right? And I'm saying this because the show was juggling a thing like the show assumed you were watching the other shows, right? The Arrowverse pretty much always assumed if you're watching one show, you were watching all the shows, right? And The Boys, maybe they should have just assumed for this final season everyone watched the 2 seasons of Gen V, because maybe this is the Gen V problem as well mixed in. Gen V spent 2 seasons that Marie is supposed to be synonymous with Homelander, right? She was made in the same crazy, freaky embryo lab that Homelander was. So maybe she was supposed to be the yang to his yin or whatever the saying goes, right? And we spend most of the season of The Boys wondering where are the Gen V characters, right? A-Train and Starlight and everybody, like, gets them, and they're like, "We're all gonna work together," and they're like, "Okay, we have the team, they're gonna break out Huey, Mother's Milk, Frenchie, and they're gonna do their thing." Maybe it will be Marie versus Homelander, and Marie dies, and I'm not saying, by the way, Marie should have killed Homelander or whatever, because I think that was dumb, but I do think we should have got a Marie, Jordan, God, I can't even remember the other Gen V characters. There was Marie, Jordan, Kate, right? Kate did the whatever, and Emma, and it would have been interesting just to see them all attempt, like, just have one episode where they fight, because instead we got the weird episode, the one-shot episode, where it was just random fucking things, and that was also the Supernatural backdoor, the Supernatural reunion episode, and I enjoyed the Supernatural element of it. But it feels like that episode should have been the Gen V cast where they attempt to take out Homelander before he gets the V1, and I understand, like, eventually, yes, Homelander was supposed to get the V1, but if you just do that, you coulda got it better, like, you could the way if I would have structured this, right, it's like, okay, they get out of the fucking the concentration camp, and I thought the first 3 episodes were relatively actually good, right? They get out of the concentration camp, they have the virus, they test the virus on the TikTok super house, and we see it kills everybody and even kinda kills Soldier Boy, but then we learned, oh, V1 makes him immortal, and that's why Soldier Boy is immune to it, but it killed everyone, and it freaks out Homelander, so Homelander's in retreat, but also Homeland's trying to find V1, right? All relatively good. And then we get like, okay, Butcher's like, maybe I can use Ryan to catch him off guard and then use the Gen V characters to fight while Ryan has him off guard. That would have been like a better structure. But now we're in this weird thing where, okay, we've set up all these random characters we're supposed to see in Vault Rising. And now I also do not think Vault Rising is this like fully in the during the World War II era show anymore. I think it's going to be a lot like Arrow season 1, where there's something that's gonna happen in this new post-virus world where Homelander's dead. Obviously, we all know Homelander's gonna die, and then flashes back to the past and like how Arrow was doing it with the Lian Yu shit. And it's just like, okay, like what is happening here? Because where the fuck is Ryan? Like Ryan gets the fuck up by fucking Homelander and we haven't seen him again, right? And he's also in love with what the hell is Claudia Dumont's character? Dumont's God, I can't even remember what her character's name is in The Boys. Oh, Newman, right? He's in love with Newman's sister, And we're like, "Okay, that would've been fun, I guess." And then, like, them trying. But it just feels, like, weird because in the latest episode, we have the Gen V characters, and they just are in a house. That's it. We're like, "Oh, she has uncontrollable power." Like, we see them fight Godolkin, and maybe that would've been better, like, Godolkin versus Homelander and Godolkin possessing Homelander to his full abilities, like, some shit like that. But we're like, "Okay, no, Gen V is canceled, and we're never gonna see these characters again," and it feels, like, really shitty, and I'm just like, "Okay." Like, the one-shot episode, stupid, and then the episode where they're in this ancient vault facility and some ancient parasite is fucking them all up with the toxic thing to lead into cure of where the V1 is, and by the way, we've now learned that V1, the only vial left of V1 has been with Bombsight the entire time because he wanted Golden Geisha to take it, so that Golden Geisha would be immortal with Bombsight, but instead Soldier Boy just, takes away Bombsight's immortality. Okay, and then give Homelander the immortality, and then this is the Sister Sage thing, is Sister Sage is basically the thinker from The Flash, so she wasn't able to account for how emotions can, take things off course as we saw. And now she's just a plot device, and she doesn't do anything, and she's like, okay, she figures out the science to give Kimiko the Homelander blasting. Now Frenchie's dead. I assume everyone is gonna die in the finale with the exception of probably, like, Huey and Starlight, and maybe yeah, I'm just gonna assume only Huey and Starlight are the only ones who are gonna survive, and everyone else is gonna be dead, and I guess Stanager will also be alive, and maybe Ryan is alive as well. Who knows? But do you see, like, this is an issue? It's such a bad show because they got rid of all the Ryan stuff, the Gen V stuff, the seriousness of it all, like, it seemed we're in a world where the US economy is apparently, like, falling because Homelander, and a fun thing would have been like, okay, what are the soups of the other countries doing, right? Are they going to attempt a plan to, like, work together to kill Homelander? Are they gonna drop nukes on America and shit like that? But what we all see is basically is that, Homelander is taking over America. The other countries aren't really doing anything about it. And, okay, like, it just seems like the rules of the world that they have made up don't even make sense because we get these things that, like, "Oh, the stock market is falling," or "Everyone's in VOD camps, and the psychics have been round up," and I'm like, "What is happening here?" Like, okay, like, they used the virus once, and we learned they were able to remake the virus, but they never, use it again, and, like, like, this is very Game of Thrones style final season, and it's not hard to guess what's gonna happen in the final episode, right? Because I don't know why people are gonna go. Because it seems like this and Stranger Things, the final season of first of all, like, "Oh, okay, if I were to guess what happens, right? Kimiko has the power now, Kimiko zaps Homelander, and then I guess Butcher uses the virus on him, and they both die, and then maybe Mother's Milk dies and Kimiko dies after using the power, like, you get it, how predictable this is? And maybe there's a time skip, and why is Soldier Boy frozen again? Like, this is just a stupid show. Like, I'm angry at it because it was so good, it started off good, but then it got really stupid, like, because, you know, the fucking One Shot was a bad episode, the King of the Hill episode was bad, this episode was, like, okay. And I get and then the last week episode with fucking, what the hell is it? The old dude, Stephen Column, was it? No, what the hell is it? Whatever the old dude is who was like, "I'm a famous actor, and I'm gonna help you find Bombsight, and this is how you contact Golden Geisha," or whatever. Homelander not killing any of these people, like, I'm just like, "Okay." Like, I'm watching it because like, whatever, but it's funny to watch all the actors have basically been secretly reposting and liking videos of everyone saying this season sucks, and you wonder, like, "Oh, then everyone hated it," but it is what it is.